What makes a young athlete give up a promising future in one sport to chase an impossible dream in another? How does someone navigate the pressures and setbacks to forge a path to the top of the tennis world? And what challenges shape a rising star into one of the most exciting and driven talents in the game today? To truly understand this incredible journey, we have to start at the beginning. A quiet town in the Italian Dolomites, where a boy born for the mountains would soon find his destiny on the court. Our story begins in San Candido, Italy, a small town cradled by the Dolomites, where skiing was not just a sport, but a way of life. Born on August 16, 2001, Jannik Sinner was surrounded by winter sports from a young age. By the time he was 12, he had already made a name for himself as one of Italy's top junior giant slalom skiers. With a bright future seemingly laid out before him, Sinner wasn't just a standout on the slopes. He also showed promise in soccer, balancing both sports effortlessly. But behind his success in these pursuits, another passion was quietly taking hold. At age 7, Jannik picked up a tennis racket for the first time. What started as a casual interest soon became something more. The individual challenge of tennis and the mental fortitude it demanded fascinated him. Tennis is different, he would later reflect. When playing tennis, you are alone. You have to try to find a solution by yourself. The sport captured his attention in a way no other did. While skiing was about speed and quick decisions, tennis tested his endurance, strategy, and resilience, qualities that resonated with his growing competitive spirit. As his passion for tennis deepened, Jannik faced a difficult choice. By this point, he already knew that his life would be shaped by competitive sports. It was only a question of which path to follow. At just 13, he made the bold decision to leave behind skiing and soccer to fully commit to tennis. With his parents, Johann and Sieglinde, standing by his side, he moved to the Piatti Tennis Academy in Bordighera, far from the mountains he knew so well. This shift marked the beginning of a journey that would test his resolve, but Jannik was determined to chase something far greater. Jannik's move to the Piatti Tennis Academy was the first major step in his journey to professional tennis. Surrounded by world-class coaching and players, his raw talent began to sharpen. Yet Sinner's path to the top was far from conventional. While many young players pursued glory in junior Grand Slams, he chose a different route, opting to compete in lower-tier professional tournaments instead. His decision was deliberate, a way to test himself against older, more experienced opponents and accelerate his growth on the court. By the time he officially joined the ATP Tour in 2018, he was still relatively unknown to the broader tennis world. But it didn't take long for people to notice. His fluid ground strokes, laser-like focus, and ability to absorb pressure made him stand out, even among seasoned players. Sinner quickly showed that he wasn't just a young prospect, he was a player to watch. In just his second year as a professional, Jannik claimed 3 ATP titles and cracked the top 100 rankings by the end of 2019. His rapid rise earned him the ATP's Newcomer of the Year award, cementing his place as one of the brightest talents on the tour. Reflecting on his breakthrough, Sinner always maintained a calm perspective, focusing not on the hype, but on improving his game day by day. "You always have to believe in yourself. I think that's maybe the most important for a tennis player," he said, emphasizing the mental side of his development. His first taste of Grand Slam success came in 2020 at the French Open, where he reached the quarterfinals. Though he eventually lost to Rafael Nadal, Sinner had made a statement. Competing on one of the sport's biggest stages, he had shown that he could hold his own against the very best. That performance solidified his place as a rising star. 2021 marked another leap forward. Jannik secured 4 more ATP titles and advanced to the round of 16 at both the French Open and the US Open. Perhaps most notably, he made it to the final of the Miami Open, becoming the youngest finalist at a Masters 1000 event since Rafael Nadal in 2005. At just 19 years old, Sinner was proving that his potential wasn't just talk, it was real, and he was ready to compete on the sport's biggest stages. But as Sinner's game matured, so did his understanding of what it took to compete at the highest level. In 2022, recognizing that he needed to add new dimensions to his play, he made a bold decision. He parted ways with his longtime coach Riccardo Piatti, a move that surprised many in the tennis world. After working with Piatti from a young age, It was clear that Sinner felt it was time for a change. He brought in Simone Vagnozzi as his new head coach and later added the experienced Darren Cahill to his team. Cahill, who had previously worked with legends like Andre Agassi and Simona Halep, brought a wealth of knowledge and a fresh perspective to Sinner's game. This new coaching team was tasked with diversifying his style, focusing on tactics beyond his already impressive ground strokes. Sinner understood that to keep climbing the rankings, physical strength was as important as tactical variety. "We've put a lot of work in, much more physically than tennis-wise," he explained. "So many hours in the gym, and I've also worked on the mentality as well." This comprehensive approach, combining technical adjustments, fitness, and mental resilience, would prove to be the key to his future success. By 2023, Jannik Sinner had firmly cemented his place as a standout talent on the ATP Tour. But the road to becoming one of the top players in the world came with significant challenges. Competing with tennis's elite required more than just raw talent. It called for mental resilience, something Sinner was determined to hone. Sinner's encounters with top opponents like Novak Djokovic, Carlos Alcaraz, and Daniil Medvedev became defining moments in his journey. His quarterfinal finishes at Wimbledon and the US Open in 2022 were pivotal. Despite losing to Djokovic and Alcaraz in epic five-set battles, these experiences pushed Sinner to grow. He thrived in high-pressure situations and always seemed to rise to the occasion. "I like to be under pressure. Those are the moments when I perform my best," he noted, showing his ability to embrace difficult moments rather than shy away from them. One of his key rivalries has been with Carlos Alcaraz. Their matches are a spectacle of grit and determination, showcasing the future of tennis in full display. Reflecting on their meetings, Sinner shared, "When we face each other, it's a very good matchup. We push ourselves to the limit, and it helps me understand where I need to improve." This fierce competition helped both players evolve, continuously pushing each other to new heights. Sinner was instrumental in leading Italy to its first Davis Cup title since 1976. These achievements elevated him from a rising star to a player capable of competing and winning on the highest stage. Sinner's success wasn't accidental. It was the result of calculated improvements. His serve, once seen as a vulnerability, had evolved into one of the strongest parts of his game. Working with his coaches Darren Cahill and Simone Vagnozzi, he adjusted his technique, making his serve more reliable under pressure. Off the court, his physical transformation was just as striking. Hours of training in the gym had made Sinner a more agile and durable player. His improved speed and court coverage allowed him to chase down impossible shots, extending rallies and frustrating even the most aggressive opponents. His performance at Wimbledon in 2023, where he took Djokovic to 5 intense sets, demonstrated how far he had come in both endurance and fitness. In 2024, Jannik Sinner isn't just a rising star, he is one of the key players shaping the future of tennis. His blend of discipline, tactical intelligence, and adaptability sets him apart in an increasingly competitive field. As Sinner reaches new heights, his rivalry with Carlos Alcaraz continues to capture attention. Their matchups, filled with intensity and breathtaking skill, are quickly becoming a defining feature of the modern tennis landscape. Sinner has come a long way from his early days in the Dolomites, but his focus remains razor-sharp. Despite his increasing success, he keeps his feet on the ground, constantly refining every aspect of his game. His fans, known as the Carota Boys, inspired by his red hair and his habit of eating carrots during matches, show their unwavering support, often showing up in carrot costumes to cheer him on. The connection between Jannik and his fans is one of mutual respect, a testament to his down-to-earth personality despite the mounting pressure. Off the court, Sinner isn't just known for his competitive spirit, but also for his approach to the game. In interviews, he talks about the importance of staying humble and trusting the process. "You have to fight for every point, and that's what I try to do every time I step onto the court," he emphasizes. His grounded attitude and relentless work ethic earn him the admiration of not just his fans, but also his peers and legends of the game. At just 23 years old, Jannik Sinner already accomplishes more than many players do in an entire career. Winning both the Australian Open and the US Open in 2024 marks the beginning of what many believe will be a series of Grand Slam victories for the Italian. His ability to deliver on the big stages proves that he is more than ready for the challenge. But what truly makes Sinner special is his ability to rise above controversy. Earlier in 2024, news breaks that Sinner failed 2 dope tests. Though the International Tennis Integrity Agency, ITIA, clears him of intentional wrongdoing, the pressure and public scrutiny are immense. Yet, Sinner handles the situation with poise, responding with his performance on the court, culminating in his historic US Open win. He addresses the issue head-on, firing 2 members of his team and using the moment as a turning point. His grace under fire, combined with his sheer talent, places him in a unique position among his peers. It is no longer just about winning titles, it is about defining his legacy. As one of the youngest players to hold the world #1 ranking, Jannik Sinner represents the future of tennis. He embodies a new era, one where humility, resilience, and talent coexist. Sinner's ambitions remain clear. He isn't content to rest on his accomplishments. With each tournament, his goals extend beyond personal victories. He aims to push the boundaries of the sport itself. As he continues to evolve, one thing remains constant. Jannik Sinner is not just playing tennis, he is redefining what it means to be a champion.